come to the iConversation to learn this stuff, then you're asking for it, but you're not taking advantage of EXP's resources, the ICON agents that are coming in here every Friday after this meeting to share how they became ICON agents. How are they getting their 16K cap back? And the beautiful thing is they're going to come in here and share their best kept secrets, their stories, their successes, and you get to ask questions. Terry Wortley, I think your microphone's on. If you could go ahead and click on it. It'll take a few minutes probably to mute, but we can hear you, so thanks. Anyways, I just wanted to share this with everybody because this is over on the Education and Training Workplace. We're going to be doing a lot of things over on the Workplace now through the Education and Training portal, meaning uploading files. We're sharing classes there. We have streamed live. Today's iConversation will be streamed live into the education training platform. That way, if somebody can't make it or you miss the iConversation, you'll be able to go back and watch the archived video. We're uploading files there. There's a lot of people answers there. So that Workplace is really already turning out to be a phenomenal extension of EXP Cloud and our ability to communicate and collaborate with each other. And so that's it. I just want to thank everybody for filling out that survey because you make it easier for us and for the executive leadership team and for the education council subcommittees of the education, where we can sit down and really start producing a supply for what all of you folks have in demand, and whatever that is. We want to hear, we want you to know we are listening, and we will produce and implement these classes, these trainings, and if we don't have the staff, the people, or the resources, we will go outside of EXP to find them and bring them in to give you the training, the education, and the support you guys here. So thanks, Vicki. Unless there's anything else you want me to cover, I just want to point out that if you go to our calendar at expcloud.com, you'll see that January has a whole lot of new sessions. There's a Farming for Dollars session that's been added. There is a goal setting session that's been added every Monday. We now have the lead generation on Tuesday, social media on Thursday. So please take a look at this calendar. This is where we're going to implement and meet your needs for the things you were asking for this year. So thanks, everybody. Thanks, Vicki. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you at the iConversation.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Brad. Appreciate the update. And appreciate you always being the one that runs the screen and the slides and all that for us, too. That's great. Patty and Kathy, are either one of you able to get your mic open? All right, well, it doesn't look that. So this week, we actually welcomed 250 agents into our EXP family of agent owners. Another incredible week for our agent services team. And so we are just growing leaps and bounds, everybody. So welcome to all of you. If you are here checking us out today as guests, we thank you for joining us today for our leadership meeting. Here today, I want to give everybody a chance to go grab a cup of coffee and stay right where you are here. Park your avatar here, because this next class coming up here at the top of the hour, you're going to have Chuck Keller from Southern California. You're also going to have Doug Stockley, another ICON agent from the same area. We also have Vanessa Nunez, rock star, Realtor of the Year in Austin, Texas this year, and one of our ICON agents. And then we have Eric Spike Steinhoff. All these folks, we have our iConversations. This is going to be a format where they're going to be able to talk about what they want to talk about, what their wisdom and their knowledge base is, but most importantly, they are going to be open for questions. So if you've ever wondered what it takes to be an ICON and wished you could pick the brain of an ICON, now you're going to be able to do that every single Friday. And I have to give a huge shout out and thank you to our ICON agents, because when we announced this class, we've already have them all signed up through February. They are so excited to come in and give back to each and every one of you that it just volumes to the caliber of agent that they are and the caliber of people that they are. So thank you so much, everybody. Have a fantastic weekend. estate, grab some coffee, and come right back here because you're not going to want to miss the iConversations.
Hey, Vicki, can you hear me?
Kiwa?
Hi there. I can't get on stage. I can't move my avatar, but I did get some notes from Patty. So would you like me to do it in my best Patty voice?
Sure, yes. Give us a quick update for transactions. That would be great.
Apologies for that. I know Patty really wanted to engage with all of you, so I apologize, everyone. So it's her notes, and so it may sound a little bit voiced by apologize in advance. For one, she wanted to communicate that, there were a lot of productive agents at EXP, and that you have been keeping the transaction team super busy over the holidays and into January, but they love it. So they just wanted to say thank you for everything that all of you are doing, et cetera, et cetera. One of the things that they've been working on is finishing and settling all the transactions for 2017. The main reason why is finance needs to pull the 1099s, and the team has been working, again, very hard on that and staying on top of any of the new closings that are coming in, any changes, and making sure they get settled on time. And, over the holidays, there was definitely an opportunity, since it was a little bit slower, for the team to be able to do all that. But they're definitely on top of it, and they're finishing that all up right now. Number two, they are also, as you know, that we started the Operation Payment Express initiative back in June. There were three primary objectives, just as a reminder. Number one was getting the standard commission payments out to agents within one business day. Number two, and related to that, we have accomplished that goal and ability back in June, and they've been able to continue doing that. One, the goal was to move the entire pay or settlement process back to the transactions team. So, as many of you know, there was a little bit of a handoff that was happening between the transaction specialist to the settlement team to accounting, et cetera, et cetera. All of that function has now been completed and moved since early December to the settlements team. So Patty's team is managing all of that. So this has definitely streamlined the process. There's been some great development items or opportunities that's been identified that we're working very closely with the dev team on, and they're continuing to automate the process and even more right now, and trying to save that time. So that is still a work in progress, but a lot of great progress and success done there. Second objective was to get the DA sent out transactions on the transactions earlier, about 3 to 4 days before closing, and we've accomplished that that goal in the late summer. And right now they're working on phase 2, which is to make modifications to.
It looks like we lost you, Kiwa. Well, all right, we will hit Patty up at a future time to finish that update and hear her smiling voice in there too. So here we are at the top of the hour. Brad, I'm going to turn it over to you to get this iConversation started. So introduce and bring on up Chuck, Doug, and Vanessa, and we're going to roll right into that class. So good. Have a great morning, everybody, and we'll see you soon.
Let's dance our way out or dance our way in. It's F7 for the new folks. All right. Exciting times. Happy Friday, everybody. So it's time for iConversations. If we can get Chuck Keller and Vanessa Nunez, Eric, and Douglas way up to the stage here. There's Spike. Welcome. Let's make sure your mics are working because we have such a today in the cloud campus. There's a little bit of delay and lag on the audio and even the ability to walk. Housekeeping to make this event very exciting and enjoyable for the person sitting next to you. Do me a favor, please, everybody in the room, look down in the lower left corner and make sure that your microphone, make sure that it is not green and say on the air, because then we hear everything, typing, breathing, sneezing, coughing, and if questions, if there's time at the end, we'll leave that open for some open Q&A. But you can use the text chat that's in the lower left-hand corner, And if you want to type in your questions, comments, feedback, each other, that's the best place to do that. The word public, and it will copy everything that has been spoken or shared in that text chat today. So if you want to take the stream with you that's covered in the thread, please keep your eyes on the road and your hands on the wheel. You do have access to the microphone in the room, but you will not. All we're showing is pictures of our icons today, and so you won't be missing anything other than that and the text chat. To chime in, you just hold down your thumb on the microphone, and you will be on the air as well. So with no further ado, let me introduce to you Chuck Keller, Vanessa Nunez, Eric Stock, Douglas, Stockley, California. Vanessa's from Texas. Chuck is in Southern California. Folks, this is your show. This is your Icon Hour. Let's get this iConversation started. Take it away. So here's where we get to test the microphone. So let's... Chuck,
hi, can you guys hear me? This is Vanessa.
Hey, Vanessa, you sound great. Take it away.
Okay.
Good morning, it's Douglas here. Good morning, Chuck's here.
Hi, guys. I guess this is very interactive, and I'm an interactive speaker, so whatever it is, I like people to ask questions on what they want us, what y'all want to know, because we're here to serve you, and I'm sure I'm speaking for the other three gentlemen that are here as well.
So we can get a lot of folks, if you want to go ahead and just type in the text chat, you know, and if I could get out, you're not talking, even if you're up here as an icon, to mute your mic, because Tina, I think your microphone's on. Tina King from San Diego. Would you go ahead and mute it for us, please? Yeah, I'm unable to use any of the controls here to mute microphones, unfortunately. So, but yeah, go ahead and just type your question into the text chat, and we'll just start with that. Lots of users typing. 279, but only 3 I've seen.
Okay, a little bit about my background. I actually became an agent 7 years ago here in Austin, Texas. My background comes from, I lived on an island for 15 years, had other businesses, restaurants, coffee shops, clothing line, and an actual boutique. So when I came to Austin, I decided and always wanted to do real estate. So I don't know what else you guys like to know on that. Anyone else want to chime in?
Why don't you answer the same question? We'll kind of just get this thing started and let people know a little bit about who you guys are and what you do and your passion.
All right, Douglas Stockley here. I have been in the business since 2006. I modeled for probably 25 years before I did real estate, but I always had an interest in real estate. And my wife and I moved to Los Angeles in 2005, and I got my real estate license. I didn't know anyone here other than a couple of friends, so it was a brand new start for me.
And Chuck, how about you?
There we go. Yeah, there's a delay in the microphone. I'm Chuck Keller, and I've been in the business since 1999, and I worked for 4 companies. The first company was just a couple of months, and then the partner I was with at the time moved the team over to Coldwell Banker, and I was with Coldwell Banker. After that, I went to a brand new company that came into town called Keller Williams. I was there 12 years, and then for the last 2 years,
Good stuff. Good stuff. Who do we miss? We get Douglas? Douglas? Oh, yeah, you did. What about Eric? Or do you prefer Spike? I think we lost audio. right, well, I'm going to go to a question, if that's okay. I saw the very first question came from my buddy in Hawaii, and I'm really early in order to be in here in this session, and so Randy, aloha, welcome. But he brought up a really great question. If I can scroll through here in the text chat, he was asking, he's hoping to really find out today what you guys do, what all of you do to differentiate yourselves from the average agent that's helped you become an icon and helped you become successful. What do you believe you're doing that's different? And if I could start with you, Chuck, we'll just work our way across.
Yeah, so I believe the biggest thing that I do, along with my business partner, Doug Rago, is we really stay in touch with our database and attend events and support our friends and our clients, our past clients, and their relationships with their friends any way we can. Doug especially is really good about booking, breakfast or lunch, drinks in the afternoon or coffee, and dinners at night. Just staying really, and also too when someone is participating in a walkathon or ride program or whatever, we're always supporting them in every way we can. So I would just say the main thing that I think is so important is this database, adding to it consistently, and then staying in touch with it in every way that you can.
Not sure who's. We can't hear Spike.
I can hear him. He's typing. Hey, Spike, your mic's on. Go ahead and talk.
I'm coming up. I had to re-log in. My mic wasn't working.
Oh, no, it's working. You're on. Just go ahead and talk.
Good question. I logged out.
Oh, you didn't hear the question?
Yeah.
So what do you do different that differentiates you from all the other agents around you that have made you so successful? In other words, as an icon, you obviously have to meet a level of production, and, it's... So it was a question was asked, what differentiates you from other agents?
We are, I say we, my wife and I sell real estate together. We're very, we have a very strong, organized social media program. We're very disciplined on our schedule. And we're really just put ourselves out there in the area as being very authentic and social media. We also run a very strong business. We obviously have a P&L, and we run it like a business. So.
Love it. Okay, so there was a survey that went out in 2007, and close to 6,000 real estate agents at EXP. Jill Miller, could you mute your mic? Thank you so much. A survey went out asking folks what they wanted to learn, and of course a lot of it was around lead generation, open houses, database management. Why don't you guys pick one of those topics? I'm going to pull one up on the screen here, and maybe you could talk about that, because I was letting folks know, you obviously have to experience all these levels of the business. Doing so, you have experience in a lot of different areas where a lot of folks here in the room right now don't have that knowledge. They don't have database management. They don't have staging maybe, or the listing skills that you have. So one of the things I would love each of you to share, maybe if you don't mind, is the number one most requested thing by agents within our brokerage was lead generation. How are you generating enough business to close transactions to reach icon status? Go ahead, Spike. Since your mic's on, just go ahead and let us know.
Brad, mine's on as well. I mean, I would love to jump in on that.
Well, please do. Yeah. I mean, topics you want that's on the screen, but the number one requested thing was lead generation. The second thing was social media, and the third was your listing consultation. And this is by our organization and the whole company, not just a survey by a few people. So maybe talk about lead generation or social media or even farming and database management, all those. Vanessa, how are you utilizing these things, and what do you do differently?
I work very differently than most agents, and I've been working with a couple young agents and teaching them what I do, and they're having great success after coming off teams where they haven't sold anything after a year. I've been working with them over the past 4 weeks, and they already have 3 clients, one under contract and 2 right property. Mostly what I do is I tell people it's important to be not only authentic, which I believe Spike mentioned that as well, but you have to do you. If you're not doing you and what's comfortable with you, and you're trying to do what everyone else is doing, you're not going to get the client to respond to you in the manner that you're looking for. So for me, I'm very social, and I'm a strong buyer's agent, which means I do more than 75% of my icon status and all of my business being buyers, which is very unusual. But it's because I have a strong social circle and a strong referral program. So I think it's important when you are working out there, make sure you're doing something that's comfortable for you. If you're not that person that picks up the phone and can sit there, because that's not me, fail at this business if that's what I had to mandatory do. I go out and I sit in different coffee shops at least once a week and work on my stuff. And when people see me working, they're like, "What are you doing?" And that's how I generally generate business. I mean, I'm from California. Was with one all day yesterday. It was a referral from someone, a client. I have another one coming in from California, which you just got to get with your clients and making sure that they know that you're still doing this. If you haven't talked to them in a while, that's probably going to be the most difficult thing. When I picked up my client yesterday, my other client happens to run the head of HR. I took an extra hour to be there early from picking my client, had coffee with her, caught up with her. So you can always find a way to incorporate a past client with a current client if you're really open to doing that. As for social media, I tend to be on Instagram and Facebook. And by Facebook, I'm always posting more positive and motivational information, and that seems to keep my clients and friends engaged to where they refer me out for different things just because of sheer mindset and how I work. And I use it as agent attraction as well. I know I could have easily clients who's selling a home in Dallas to an EXP agent, but there's an agent I've been trying to attract over to us, and I referred it to her because she's one of the top agents at Caldwell Banker in the Plano area. So sometimes you just have to look at also how you're reflecting and doing your referrals. So,
what percentage of your business, Vanessa, if you don't mind my asking, what percentage of your business comes from farming and prospecting and going after the business versus referral business, meaning it's coming into you by referral, or even you're paying for advertising? What percentages of your business come from those areas?
I would say less than 5%. I really do business very differently than your average person.
So what does that 95% look like? Where does that come from?
My SOI, constantly getting out there and just meeting people, just literally meeting people and introducing myself. It's a people business. And if we're not in building relationships, I don't believe relationships is sending something that's a postcard. That's not a relationship. A relationship is a one-on-one conversation. Like this weekend here in Austin, we have something called Law Garage Boutique. And I'm taking 5 of my clients over this past year to the VIP session. And it's a great way to bond with, my different clients, because it's a blast. It's a shopping trip, essentially. But that is what I do. So I'm taking 5 of my clients, and it's a $20 ticket. And we go and we have brunch before or after, and I really keep this truly a relationship business.
So let me ask all of you, because some of us, well, I'm just going to speak for those in the audience that may not want to say, hey, I just don't have a sphere of influence. I don't have, Vanessa, is huge, because you just have to get out there. Everybody had to crawl before they walk. You have to walk before you run, and all that has to happen before you ever become part of the Olympics. And
Let me say something, Brad.
Go ahead, yes.
So that they know. I moved to Austin, Texas 7 years ago. I did not know one person. I came from St. Thomas Virgin Islands, where I had lived for 15 years. I came in that very first year. I did $5 million in business, over 27 transactions, and got Rookie of the Year for Austin Board of Realtors. This year, I was honored as 2017 Salesperson of the Year for Austin. You can do this, and that was sheerly from being out there and taking lead stuff, answering questions from Zillow and Trulia and Homes.com and anything I could be out there, because I didn't have a lot of money to be putting into advertising. So there's so many ways you can do this without spending a ton of money. And everyone's looking at, oh, money, money, money. But, you know, there's ways to do it without spending a lot. But you do have to work and be willing to, if you're not willing to put yourself out there, you won't do well, because this is, again, a relationship business.
Sure. So, go ahead.
I'd love to jump in here because I mimic Vanessa's in terms of moving here from another city, not knowing anyone. I think for us, you know, we are icon agents, but we did start somewhere at the beginning. And I always tell new agents when I'm speaking with them to cast your net wide at the beginning, because you typically have a lot of free time at the very beginning. And I tell people, cast your net wide and see what works for you. You know, some people are great on social media. Some people are great, you know, meeting people at the store. Again, I echo Vanessa's statements about, you know, being in the public. That is who I am, and that is how I meet people. And again, authenticity, be who you are. If you're trying to be someone else, that's, people can read it.
Excellent point. Chuck, anything you want to add to that? Or Spike?
This is Spike. I will.
Go ahead.
I believe you can really build a pretty good business through almost just social media and Facebook if you approach it the right way. And I'm trying to make it short for this particular forum, but it could be almost an entire class. Through EXP, we came across a gentleman by the name of Hank Avick, who we hired as a coach earlier this year. And he teaches a class called 36 Life. I think that's one of the best things out there for new agents. Or when I talk to agents, I kind of look at below $10 million a year in sales, above $10 million a year in sales. And for an agent below $10 million a year in sales, I think that's an outstanding class that he teaches. We also probably sell about 30% of our listings through open houses. With open houses, we do post them on Zillow, Realtor.com. We Facebook post on the open house, we run paid Facebook ads in conjunction with conversion with a squeeze page. I believe that's the right terminology, Brad. And we also have about 30 signs per open house. We have people sign in online. We follow up automatically. And we follow up with a phone call to people at open houses. We sell probably about 30% of our listings through open houses. And, you know, we do about $25 $30 million a year in sales.
Yeah, that was one of the top things asked about was open houses. People need to learn whether you believe they work or they don't. Either way, you're right. So,
Agree. I think it puts you out there.
Yeah, you know, I've had one person that said they don't even really take advantage of the open house as much as they take advantage of the 20 neighbors in the neighborhood. You know, they want to come see the house, so they do a private VIP showing for the neighborhood, and then they connect with 20 new people over an open house that they're not even having. I don't even think it was their listing. So they take them over and invite them in to do a VIP preview before the neighborhood gets to, you know, the world gets to pick their new neighbor, and they tell them this is your only chance you're going to ever have to pick your new neighbor. So you might want to come look at the house that's going to be open and get a jump on it if you know somebody who wants to move into the area. And I think that's genius. That's, whether you believe in open house or not, that's a strategy to build your, as Vanessa said, it's, if you don't have people, if you don't have a sphere, a contact, you don't have any appointments. And if you don't have any appointments, we know you're not closing transactions.
I think,
go ahead.
Brad, I was going to say, I think one important thing, I used to beat myself up over this, is I realized I'm not great with systems. The very beginning, bombarded with, you should be on top producer, you should get this, you should be on this. And I said a moment ago, I think you need to cast your net wide at the beginning. And I say that because you should dabble in and see if you're good at door knocking or if you're good at social media or where you kind of find your niche. But I would get on Top Producer, and because everyone else was on it, and I never used it. So you really have to work for you, but if it really isn't you, then I think you need to, just keep trying. That's this business. It's always evolving, and just when you think you've learned the market and how to do things, then the market shifts and you have to readjust.
Excellent advice. Chameleon, right?
Absolutely, I agree with him 100%.
Yeah.
Hey, let me ask you guys something, because I know you're going to this is probably not a question you get asked often, and it is about the CRM. I have a different definition for the acronym because I believe it is way more than just a contact relationship manager or client relationship management system. But what are you using, and how are you using your CRM for your business, especially Vanessa? I mean, this is your sphere of influence, you obviously have a good database, and that data money to you someday when you sell it to another agent and collect referral fees. But seriously, people want to know what CRMs you're using to be the heartbeat and the blood life of your business. You guys all have a database where you're putting your clients, you do your to-do list, your follow-ups, your campaigns, and you mentioned Top Producer. What are all of you using as a CRM, and how are you really using it? Or are you?
I know that this is going to sound really crazy from a top agent. I don't have one, never have had one. Everything is my phone. And I really believe this is a relationship business. I don't read emails. Everybody knows that. If you're going to send me an email, maybe days for me to get back. You send me a text, it is instant. I will reply to you in a literally instantaneously. I am that person, and all my clients know. You send me a text, you call me, I answer. And I have literally put myself out. You have got something that's wrong, whatever, call me. I'll help you figure out the problem even after I sell. So when I tell you I'm not your typical agent and I'm not your typical top agent, so when you look at everybody else saying, oh, you have to do this, the systems, this, and that, I'm a high D, high I, and I don't get the systems and all of that. That is just not me. I have to have 2 assistants to do all of that because it is not my forte. I am 100% the face. And you call me, I'm there. You text me, I'm there. You email me, maybe.
See, what Vanessa's saying is, she knows her strengths. She knows what to put off onto other people. Exactly. Because that's their strength. I have 2 clients, and he makes $1 million a year. They're consultants. He fails in systems. The man cannot write a check. The man cannot, but he's amazing at business. But there's certain things that he can't, and he passes it off to other people.
Vanessa said something, and I know all of you up here are going to agree on this, but if you were to take away one thing from today's this conversation we're having, I will tell you right